Mr. Kennedy presents Dominican USA.
Welcome to Dominican USA. My name is Mr. Kennedy, and we're coming live here from the rooftop in the middle of Santo Domingo. And I'm glad to see all of you here. As you saw our first video, we had an introduction of the great transformation that is the Dominican Republic and what's transforming here and all the good things and, of course, all the bad things that are happening here. Today, we're going to talk about a serious topic, something that's deep in my heart because it affected me and my family. We're going to talk about the healthcare system of Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic in whole, which is like, if you're listening to me from the United States, it'll be like Medicare, Medicaid put together. And this covers about 7 million of the most vulnerable and poorest people. 7 million out of 12 million have SeNaSa. SeNaSa, and I'll repeat that again, SeNaSa. I want everyone to know what's going on here in the Dominican Republic. A month ago, the authorities, the state, I would say, arrested 10 individuals. Specifically, the one they went after is the director of SeNaSa. His name is Santiago Hassim Abin, something like that. Excuse me if I got his last name wrong, but he was the director that was appointed in 2020 to safeguard and to render all these services to the poorest of the poor, the most vulnerable, the ones that can't afford the medication, the ones that can't afford medical treatment. SeNaSa is and will be their healthcare system. And Mr. Hassim, the director, which is the captain of the ship, he's entrusted with a huge budget to safeguard and to implement all these services. And what did Santiago Hassim do? He went in with 9 others, and there's more. There's going to be plenty more. They're going to go down. They're going to get arrested, and they should be in jail. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with transparency. They're all innocent until proven guilty, so this is an alleged crime, okay? But in Dominican Republic, it doesn't work like that. If they bring you in, it's because they got the goods on you. So Hassim and his 9 other conspirators decided to scheme. And how did this scheme work? This is $250 million scheme. Just take a look at the scope. $250 million. That's a lot of money for a country that only has 11 million people. A lot of money. We're talking a lot of bucks here. So what did they do? They falsified all their work. They put in people that already died as recipients. They were in cahoots with the pharmacies, with big corporations, in order to deceive the public. This is what happened here and is happening. So how does that affect the everyday person? Okay, let's say that someone needs medication and the funds are not there. What do? They wait, and they wait some more until they get sick. And once they get sick, SeNaSa doesn't cover everything. SeNaSa only covers 80% of their health care. Does that sound familiar? That sounds to me like Medicare. It's the same thing. Yes, sir. It sounds the same thing. You know what Dominican Republic does well? Not everywhere. I'm not gonna put everyone in there. Dominican does well is they look at the United States and they mirror just about everything. Just about everything they mirror. Okay, for an example, I have Humana. Over here, it's not called the Humana, it's called Humano. Wow. And they give you 80-20, just like Medicare, 80-20. Okay? So once this scandal broke out, they named it. They gave it a name. This is, Dominican Republic is a very special place. This is not only a scandal. The scandal has a name. It's called Cobra. Why? Because when the cobra stings, it kills you. And guess what?
Things look like a cobra.
Yeah, yes, you're absolutely right. Now, how is this personal to me? Why am I so animated about SeNaSa? Okay, well, let me take you back a year and a half, maybe a year and 7 months ago, when I was faced with the dilemma of SeNaSa. Not me, but my father, who lives here, and he was very vibrant. He was healthy for a man that was 91 years old, very active. He got sick, and this is when we started going to SeNaSa to try to get him some of the services, and the services that SeNaSa didn't render, guess what? His family paid for it. And guess what? SeNaSa didn't do enough for him, a man that's paid his taxes for over a good 70 years, and now when he needs SeNaSa, SeNaSa's not there for him. And then he died. He died all of a sudden of his illness. Okay. I didn't understand back then. I didn't understand back then what happened. I just thought that, he was a victim of circumstances or whatever. I didn't understand that SeNaSa was in the midst of a serious corruption. Now I do. Now I understood why we couldn't get the services for him that he earned. Not deserved, because this has nothing to do with deservings. This is the services that he earned. And now we're in the midst of this chaos, of this scandal, of the Cobra that's coming after you. So we're going to be following this SeNaSa ordeal. We're going to bring to you every week a little bit more of information to see that these folks are brought to justice, not only brought to justice, but with the right evidence, tried and convicted. Just to remind you, the judicial system here in the Dominican Republic is not the one that we have in the United States. I'm not going to go into comparisons, right? Because it's oranges and apples. But over here, there's no jury. Over here, you got 3 judges, maybe 1, and then they decide, if upon the evidence, if these people will be guilty. They decide that. Okay, let's segue into the judicial system that the Dominican Republic has. It's not the same system that you find in America. The system here is based on judges. They're going to be judging you and convicting you based on the evidence. And we understand that. And these folks that have been arrested, they're going to have 1 year in jail. All 9 of them will be 1 year in jail. Is this called preventive measures? They're going to be kept in jail while the state looks for evidence to convict them, okay? But guess what? The captain of that ship, Hassim, he's going to be home. He's going to be home enjoying his Christmas. He's going to be home enjoying the New Year's with his family. And what about all those dead folks that died because they didn't have the care that they needed? What happens to those folks? What happens to these families that are suffering because their loved ones didn't have the care that they needed? And this is what we're gonna bring you, this transparency. Now, I just want to close by this. I talked about the captains of the ship. That's important because I'm a veteran. I'm a Navy veteran. I understand what the captain means and the authority that the captain has. But there's a bigger captain than Hassim. There's a bigger captain than Hassim that needs to address this issue. And that captain is the elected president of the Dominican Republic. He's the one that put him there. He is the one that put him there. And he hasn't come out yet with not even one press conference to say, listen, I understand what's going on. I am going to address this issue, and I am going to see that justice is served. And with that, I'm going to say thank you. Thank you for joining us at Dominican USA. We work really hard here to bring you the programming in the Dominican Republic and in the United States. And we need you to subscribe and hit the like button and join us. Because if you are here with us, if you're here with us, we could change things. We could be that agent of change, and we're going to need everyone to be involved to make this beautiful